Welcome to the Small Talk Podcast. I'm Mike Smallegan with Smallegan Real Estate Team. Today, we're joined by one of the newest additions to the team, Erik Larson. Thanks for joining us today, Erik.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so what interests you in real estate? What got you started?
Well, I've always been an entrepreneur, and so that kind of drove me to this industry, but I like helping people, and I wanted to be able to help people make what is usually the biggest financial decision that someone will make in their life, which is purchasing a home.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why a lot of us get into it. What did you do before real estate?
So I started out doing construction work out of high school.
Like swinging hammers or what?
No, it was pipe fitting.
Okay.
And plumbing.
Well, that sounds fun.
And so I did that for a while, and then I just kind of got to the point where I was doing so many side jobs that I was able to kind of branch off and do my own thing. And then that kind of led from plumbing side jobs to general contracting, and I'm basically doing everything.
Okay. Are you from Michigan or where are you from?
I'm from the Chicagoland area.
Okay. What brought you up here?
Actually, my family and I bought a vacation home up here about 10 years ago.
Where at?
And up in Hesperia.
Okay.
By Fremont. So.
And that's where you still live?
Yes, we're living in that house now.
Okay. Awesome. How long have you been a real estate agent?
Only about 5 months now.
Okay.
Yeah, 5-6 months.
What was your first couple months getting started like?
It was pretty slow. There was not really a lot to do. I didn't really have any guidance as far as that goes. So,
it's one of the problems for new agents all over, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So you joined us about a month ago. Like, what led you to joining our team?
Just wanted to be more busy.
Okay.
I was with a mentor at my old office, and she was great, and she knew you. And told me that you were awesome, and she thought that I'd be a good fit here, so that's what led me here.
Connections matter, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for trusting her with that. And what's your first month been like so far? Like, what can you say?
It's been awesome. The atmosphere is great. I like having all of the people to help me. Anytime I have a question, I can get it answered. There's just the help, and the environment has been the best part for me.
Environment, that's a funny thing to say, getting into the real estate business, right? Like, but it really matters, right? If you have other people that are around you doing work, it's going to kind of encourage you to do work yourself.
Yeah.
What do you say? Yeah.
I like the coaching that comes with the team. And then there's, people there to kind of push me a little bit in the right direction, which is definitely helpful for a new agent,
So you live up in the Fremont area. What areas do you serve as a real estate agent?
Anywhere from Grand Rapids to an hour and a half north of me, Ludington, Mason County, Oceana County, Newaygo County, Kent County.
Awesome.
Anywhere in between, really. I'll drive anywhere within a 2-hour radius of my house.
Well, that's good. Good to get out there, and especially in the nice weather we're having. What would you say to somebody in the Chicagoland area if they needed real estate service? Do you know people down there?
Yeah, I know a lot of people down there.
Okay.
If they needed somebody down there, I would say that we've got a great referral network. I'm part of a big team who knows a lot of people, and I'd be more than happy to refer you to another, KW agent or something down in that area.
So you've been on the team a short time, but and you've had a really good first month. What do you think is a big contributing factor to that on your part?
On my part, I think it's just the willingness to, one is to spend money. I'm not afraid to spend money to make money, and I've invested a decent amount of money into being a real estate agent, whether it's, my own marketing or Zillow. Zillow, I think, was the big one. I kind of went out on a limb, and it's kind of pricey, but I started buying Zillow leads.
Okay.
And I think that really helped me out in the first, couple months.
Been doing that for years. It's definitely something I believe in also.
Yeah.
So with Zillow, like, what do you feel like is the thing that makes them worth it or leads to conversion more?
I just feel like everyone who's serious about purchasing a home is actively on Zillow. I myself have been looking on Zillow for 10 years, just kind of out of curiosity. And when I was ready to purchase, I looked at Zillow for probably a good 6 months before we finally purchased our property.
Oh, you purchased property. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
So with Zillow, I think a lot of people, I guess, look at Zillow as the Band-Aid of cloth adhesive strips, right? Like if that makes sense, right? Like so Zillow now has this brand that's synonymous with buying real estate. And I think a lot of times when people think, where am I going to go to find real estate? That's just the first thing that pops up. And it's a good place for us as a team, but it sounds like you've been doing that for a while and see the value too. So that's awesome that we kind of share that.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So you're building a house. Tell me about that. Like, what's the process like?
It's a headache, to say the least. It's kind of a cool story. Years ago, about 9 years ago, my family and I started coming up here to our vacation home, and there's a whole bunch of hiking trails around the area. We were hiking along a trail one time and came across this lake, and there's this nice big lake with no houses on it, and we just couldn't believe that there were no houses there, because where I'm from, it doesn't matter what size the lake or pond is, it's full of houses.
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh, this is a beautiful property. This would be a great place to build a home. And 8 years later, that property came up for sale, and we decided to buy it and
that's a story.
Pursue our dreams. So it's been a challenge. We had some, we got our property, and right after that, every construction materials went 3,000%, something like that.
Yeah.
So we ended up waiting another year, and then as we waited, interest rates were going up. So it was definitely a challenge, but we're in the home stretch now. We just got our mechanical inspections done, and we should be starting drywall soon, and we're hoping to be moved in by the end of October.
So I'm sure a lot of the skills you picked up as a general contractor have helped in the building process. What have you learned building a house that's helped your real estate business?
Well, a lot of that is just like what's in, as far as like cabinets and floors and colors and just all of that kind of stuff. So I know what's in and what people like now, so that kind of helps me be able to find people a house.
Yeah, and I think as a real estate agent, we do help people with new construction, and you building a house now is going to give you a better idea of what somebody's going through when building, right? Like what to expect and
Definitely.
how to plan for things and what choices should they make and what should they look out for. So it's good that you're going through that. I think I've never built a house personally, but I've helped lots of people with the process, and the first couple times I paid attention and really learned what people were going through, and now I'm able to be a better real estate agent and help new people build their homes, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. It's definitely a challenge. It's a lot harder than I thought it was ever going to be. It is much easier to purchase an existing home.
Yeah.
I mean, if I would have purchased an existing home, we would have been in our new house 3 years ago.
Okay.
But here we are 3 years down the
process.
road, and we're still not done. So,
yes,
but it's worth it.
I get it for sure. So outside of real estate, what do you do?
I'm an avid outdoorsman.
Okay.
I like to fish. I like to ride trails and we got ATVs and we all go on trail rides. I like to hike. Got a few dogs. I like to take my dogs out walking and swimming and that kind of thing. And it's mostly just family stuff. I like to spend time with my two kids and my wife.
Are your kids into fishing?
Yeah, my daughter was into it a little more when she was younger. She's older now, so it's kind of she's kind of over that. But my son is just getting into it. He just has a problem sitting still for
Oh man, long, me too. What about your wife? Is she into it?
Yeah, she likes fishing.
Okay.
Yep. We used to fish for hours when my daughter was old enough, and before my son was born. My daughter was old enough to kind of do her own thing. We'd go out and fish for 8-9 hours a day on a Saturday.
What's your favorite fish to catch?
To catch, probably a northern pike. They put up a big fight.
Okay.
But I like pan fishing too, like bluegill, crappie, and that stuff to eat.
Okay.
Fry them up.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else? What else are you into?
I mean, really, just family and outdoors. We like to go swimming. We go to the beach quite a bit. West Michigan has some of the best beaches on earth, in my opinion. So we try to do that quite a bit.
So how do you keep balance between your personal life and your business life?
Well, I'm kind of used to that just because I have owned several businesses in the past. I like the flexibility that comes along with being an entrepreneur and owning a business. And that was one of the biggest reasons why I picked real estate, was just the flexibility in the schedule. where if I want to, I can, take a few hours in the morning or afternoon and do something with the family and then work later or start earlier, that kind of thing.
Okay. So how long have you lived in West Michigan?
Well, I've just been here full time for a little over a year.
Okay.
Yep.
And somebody visiting the area, where would you say they should definitely check out?
A beach.
Any of them?
Monona Township Beach is the one I like to go to. It's by Stony Lake, and we go there because it's small and there's not a lot of people there. It's a beautiful beach, crystal clear water, white sand, that kind of thing.
Do you know, no matter where you're at in Michigan, you're never 6 miles away from a lake?
Yeah, I've heard that, and no more than I believe it's an hour and a half from a Great Lake.
Yeah. That's crazy. How do you stay connected with your local community? Like being new to an area, how do you meet people or get out there and network?
Well, that's been kind of difficult, but I mean, I have been kind of active in the Hesperia area Chamber of Commerce, which is just a little small organization in the town that I'm in. I've done a few things with them. Anytime they have some kind of event, whether it's like the 4th of July or the Easter egg hunt or something like that, I try to go out and meet some new people, talk to some people, hand out some business cards, that kind of thing.
So as being relatively new to West Michigan, how do you learn the area? Like, how do you know what cities and roads and not get lost every time you go out?
Well, we have been coming up here for like 10 years, and we did spend quite a bit of time, holidays, vacations, and that kind of thing. So I'm somewhat familiar with the area. But it is definitely a little difficult finding my way around new places. I still hear townspeople will call me and say, "Hey, do you work in this area?" And sure, and I don't even know where it is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Figuring that out. So you have somebody moving to West Michigan, right? And a home buyer that you're working with. What things should they consider in picking a city to live in?
Relocating from somewhere out of state, you mean?
Let's say Chicago.
From Chicago?
Yeah.
Well, they should definitely consider the property taxes, because that's, one of the biggest draws that I like about this area. The property taxes are so much cheaper than they are down there. And then the other thing is just, what do you like to do? Do you like to be outdoors? Do you like to more of the city atmosphere? What do you like to do in your free time? That kind of thing. If you're more of an outdoors person, I would recommend, being up where I'm at, a little further north. If you like the city atmosphere, this area here, Grand Rapids, Holland, and anywhere in between is really nice for that. There's lots of stuff to do, restaurants, bars, that kind of stuff.
I always hear in the Chicago area, like, commute is a big thing. Like, what's commute like for you now?
It's amazing. I have an hour and 20-minute drive, but the whole drive is through country roads.
To the office?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to the office. Fruit orchards, farm fields, barely any traffic. Even when I get close to Grand Rapids, the traffic here is just what I consider nothing compared to what I'm used to. I lived about 60 miles outside of Chicago and would commute to Chicago regularly. It would take, sometimes I've spent 2.5 hours trying to go 60 miles just in stop and go traffic.
Yeah, it's definitely something people take for granted. I've lived in West Michigan my entire life, and pretty much anywhere you want to go is about 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
And you go other places, and sometimes 20 minutes doesn't even get you to, off your block. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing makes me madder than sitting in traffic either.
How do you stay up to date on what's going on in West Michigan in terms of events and things to do?
I know a guy, Mike Smallegan, who has a really good podcast, and he's always putting things out on Facebook on the Grand Rapids Informed page about what's going on for the weekend. And I read the news. I'm an avid reader. I like to read, so I read the news quite a bit to keep up with that kind of stuff.
So there is 3,600 realtors. It's actually shrinking, but there's 3,600 realtors in the Greater Regional Alliance of Realtors, which is our association. How do you separate yourself from the other realtors that are out there?
That is a good question. Really, it's just my commitment to help somebody. Responsiveness, I will answer my phone, not 24 hours a day, but up until about 9 o'clock at night and till about 7 o'clock in the morning. So I feel like that has a lot to do with it, just being available when anyone has a question or needs you. And then it's just my knowledge of the local area where I'm at.
Cool. So how can someone get a hold of you if they were looking to buy or sell with Erik Larson?
You can call me, text me, email me, social media, any of that stuff is fine.
Do you have any pets?
Yeah, got 3 dogs.
Okay.
We just adopted a new dog. I've got a 10-year-old beagle, an 8-year-old pit bull mix, and then we just adopted a 2-year-old Jack Russell Terrier Puggle mix.
Oh.
And
which one's your favorite?
Oh, don't make me do that.
They're not gonna know.
The pit bull.
All right.
Yeah, she's my dog, I guess you could say.
She go on runs with you and
we go
ride
on
the
walks.
4-wheeler?
Yeah, we go on walks. So right across the street from my driveway is what they call seasonal road. It's just a road that they don't maintain very well, and it looks like a trail.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can just walk. I let the dogs off the leash. We can go for a 2-3 mile walk. We don't see another person, another car, any of that. And
I bet they love that.
my dogs love that. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us today, Erik. I appreciated you sharing what you love about real estate and you building a new home and all of that. And look forward to your growth and seeing what you do as a real estate agent.
Thanks for having me. It was great.